Hello and welcome back to Bookmark Chronicles. Today I'm doing my February TBR. If you don't already know, in the United States, February is Black History Month, and it is the month in which Jessie from Bow Ties and Books hosts their annual readathon. This is the third year that Blackathon will be occurring, and Jessie has made a ton of changes and additions, and it sounds really amazing. If you watched a previous video of mine, you know that I don't participate in readathons. The prompts feel very restrictive to me, and sometimes I'm just not in the mood for whatever the prompt is asking for. That has not changed. Technically, I will not be participating in Blackathon, but I did want to mention it because I think it's really great, and I wanted to make sure that people know about it. So I will leave Jessie's announcement video in the description below that explains the different teams. There are 3 teams based on genre and a bunch of different props that are all named after Black authors. So while I'm not participating in Blackathon this year, I do want to read a bunch of books by Black authors, all of which fall into different genres. So altogether, I have 5 books on my TBR. 4 of them will be by Black authors and in different genres, and then I have another book that I'm reading for a different project. So this first book is kind of a maybe for me. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to have time to read it. Winter term has started for school. We're sort of back in the office at work, so I just don't know if I'm going to have time for all of these, but I will still be trying to do at least a book a week, which gives me 4, but because I have the other book that I need to read, this one is a maybe. And it is A Princess in Theory by Alyssa Cole. Obviously, this counts as a romance for the month, and I think everybody knows that I've been struggling with the romance, but I really liked When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole, so I wanted to give this a try. I'm gonna be totally honest, I have absolutely no idea what this is about, but this is the one that everybody told me to start with, so I'm gonna try. The next book, which will count as my fiction or contemporary novel, is Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. From my understanding, this is about a young Black girl who goes missing. Her name is Monday, and no one really seems to be looking for her except her best friend. Obviously, there are some real world implications in this book and how when Black and brown girls go missing, they're not always looked for with urgency. So I'm really excited to read this. I've heard that it's kind of a heavy hitter, which is fine. Maybe it'll make me cry, who knows? There wasn't a single book that I read in 2020 that made me cry, so maybe that'll change this year. The next book, which will be nonfiction, is Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. This is about him growing up in South Africa. I do have the audiobook of this as well. I think the best way to hear a story is to listen to the person tell it themselves. So I'm really excited to read this. I've had the audiobook for this for about 6 months, maybe. I never got to it. So having the physical copy is giving me motivation, and I'm really excited to get to it and learn more about him. I think he's hilarious. I love watching The Daily Show. So yeah. The last book for my participation in Blackathon is Raybearer by Jordan E. Fuego. This will be my sci-fi fantasy for the month. From what I know, our main character has been tasked with killing the Crown Prince. She needs to get close to him, gain his trust, and then kill him. Why? I don't know. The person who gave her the order is known as the Lady, and I am pretty sure there's a second book to this, so I'm assuming she's not going to kill the prince like she's supposed to. Yeah, I never personally read the synopsis. I've only listened to other booktubers describe it, so I'm going into this pretty blind, which is how I prefer it. We'll see how it goes. I've heard nothing but great things, and I'm really excited to read it. The last book that I'm reading this month, and that is for a separate project, is Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. This is the finale to the Shadow and Bone trilogy, which I am rereading with Robin from Robin Reads and Dasha from Mythic Pages, since we are planning to do a Grishaverse live show in early April. I was the only one who had previously read the entire trilogy. Robin and Dasha both read the first book but never got past that, so I'm excited to see what they think about how it ends. Obviously, I can't say too much about it because it's the last book in the trilogy, but in Shadow and Bone, we follow Alina Starkov, who just found out that not only is she Grisha, but she is the Sun Summoner. She is the only Grisha that has the ability to summon light. Because she's basically lived her entire life as a normal person, she now has to figure out how to use her power, and she kind of has to go on this wild adventure. What I really like about Shadow and Bone, even though I know a lot of people don't like it in general, I just really like the magic system and the Grisha powers. So I'm excited to finally finish reading this, Robin then has to read Six of Crows for the first time, and then the three of us will read King of Scars for the first time in time for the sequel, Rule of Wolves. So those are all of the books that I plan to read in February. Let me know if you have read any of these or if any of them are on your TBR, and please don't forget to check out Jesse's announcement video for Blackathon. Otherwise, that's all I have for you today, and I'll see you in the next video.